Hello and welcome. It's a Tuesday morning and it's time to talk sports now on TVC Breakfast. I am Ikechukwu Obieno. Well, Liverpool, of course, will try to reach the final of the UEFA Champions League as they travel to Spain to take on Villarreal. Jurgen Klopp insists Liverpool are taking nothing for granted ahead of Tuesday's decisive Champions League semi-final second leg at Villarreal. The final obstacle in Liverpool's quest to reach a third Champions League final in 5 seasons sees them head to Spain with a 2-0 advantage after last week's comprehensive first-leg victory at Anfield. Despite holding a commanding advantage, Klopp is under no illusions that there is still a job to be done and is relishing the challenge that only Champions League semi-finals produce.
Good or bad, Champions League semi-final is the most important game you can play. Let me say the second most important game you can play. Maybe the final is more important, but for this moment, it's the most important game you can play, and that's why whatever would have happened in the last few weeks, in the next few weeks, that's not important. It's for this moment, it's clear. You never know if you will reach a semi-final again, if you ever have a chance again to go to the final. You never know. We have an exceptional team here, and nothing is for granted. You need luck in moments, all these kind of things. So you better treat it carefully and be ready.
Well, Jurgen Klopp there, of course, talking about the importance of the game against Villarreal. Brownson Owana, sports analyst, joins me live now to do a preview of this game coming up later tonight. Well, Brownson, very pleased to see your face this morning. It's crunch time for Liverpool as they travel to Spain to take on Villarreal. We saw what they did against Bayern Munich. We saw what they did against Juventus. The Villarreal side can quite be a tricky side. Can Liverpool get the job done?
It's really, we're tied to a crunchy tie. It's going to be a crunchy tie indeed. The Villarreal side, they've been fantastic. If we were to the Europa League, I would have said they would have been able to turn this tie around. Again, you're playing against a Liverpool side who has all the momentum going for them at this time. So it's going to be a very, very difficult game. But overall, if you look at how Liverpool have played in the past 4 weeks, you see consistency in the way they play. They've scored more than 1 goal in every of their games in the last 4 weeks. So, I mean, these guys can score goals. And last weekend, they rested some couple of players, yet they were able to get the result done. It means they have all eyes set on this one. It's going to be a very difficult game, not for Liverpool, but for Villarreal in front of their own crowd. Because, I mean, even though the scoreline is not that much, I don't see them turning the 2-goal deficits they suffered in England.
Well, as they go to Spain, what kind of approach would you suggest that Jurgen Klopp and his side employ? Go there, protect the lead that they have, or go all out on the offensive as usual?
Liverpool already play very difficult kind of football. Even Man City that plays, possession football, find it very, very difficult to match Liverpool with the way they play. They come at you from wing, a style of play where even the wing back join the attack. They return very fast. They have midfielders. Thiago Alcantara springs those passes from the midfield. They beat your midfield. Sometimes, even the defense. So Liverpool is very difficult to play. Their style of play is one of the hardest style. I mean, we thought the 4-3-3 was something to go by, but Liverpool, the way they've mastered their 4-3-3 formation, even City don't play that way. So it's good. I don't think they should change the style of play. I think they should maintain the way they play because even Villarreal will find it very difficult. But I'm not saying Villarreal wouldn't go down without a fight. They'll put up a very good fight in front of their home crowd. Spain is also a very difficult ground to go, especially for English teams. But if you look at, like I said, the experience, Liverpool, they've won this title at least in the past 2-3 years, thereabouts. So all this experience will come to count. Villarreal, they've got some couple of experience and young players, but I don't think it would be enough against Liverpool tonight.
Well, Villarreal, as you mentioned earlier, it's not going to go down without a fight. Of course, they will fight. But if you remember very clearly, too, they were in the first leg at Anfield. Quite a number of key players for the Villarreal side were missing. in the final third, in the midfield, players like Gerard Moreno, Francis Coquelin, all these players were missing in the first leg. But we do hear, or the good news now is that these players are likely to be part of this game. That should give them some level of competitiveness, shouldn't it? I mean, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it should. It should give them a very big boost. I mean, if you have especially Coquelin back in that team, I mean, we know his quality and what he can do with the ball. That should also give Liverpool cause for worry. And I mean, if I were the coach of Villarreal tonight, I mean, I'll make things easy for myself. Don't let the guys run too much. Give Liverpool the ball. I mean, let them come at you. Liverpool has a way, they always want to come at you like bees, But then break them on the counter, cross those long balls. That if they have players to execute this kind of formation, leave the midfield for Liverpool because I mean they just may not be able to win that midfield battle. But if they can break them on the counter, if they had, I mean, Chukwueze is a very fast guy, and I think they've got two other fast player, pacey player at the front. If they can beat that midfield, long balls, just stand with those one or two defenders. I think they can squeeze something out. But if they want to go man for man, even with the players coming back, it might be difficult to win that battle of midfield. So, I mean, bypass the midfield, cross those long balls to the strikers up front. They just might grind one or two goals. Never can tell.
All right. The Villarreal coach, Unai Emery, says, let me quote him now, "We need to find excellence in our play, do something no one has done this year, find more weaknesses in the Liverpool side, like, than other teams have done." And of course, he couldn't be more correct in saying this, could he?
I mean, these quotes are very, very good. But I mean, if you look at it very well, it's very difficult to find fault in the way Liverpool play. And then sometimes when I watch them play and I wonder if they have weak points. But then a team can't be that 100% perfect. So it's left for the coach to look at those flaws. I mean, if you look at the defense line of Liverpool, very strong. The midfield, very powerful, very strong, creative. The front line, pacey. So it's very difficult for a manager. I mean, Unai Emery is got a very difficult job tonight to decipher the weak points of that team. It's an uphill task for him tonight. I mean, I look at Liverpool time and time, week in, week out. I still try to find the weak points in that team. I really can't find. But doesn't mean they don't have weak points. I think they do. But let's see how well Unai Emery would charge his words tonight, find those weak spots, drop those balls there, and get the goals. But I mean, impossible is nothing in football. With the 11th man on the pitch, which is going to be their fans, I think they just can maybe grind out a draw and get this game to extra time.
All right, Ted Brownson, very, very quickly, let me put you on the sport now. Liverpool, Villarreal, who wins tonight?
So in 90 minutes, I'm not sure, but I think Liverpool will do enough to qualify.
all right, then, Brownson. Thanks very much indeed. Always interesting having you talk sports with us on Twitter Breakfast.
Thank you very much.